Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Love Sis. My name is Vanessa if you guys are new to this channel. I'm doing a whole new episode today and I'm super excited. I'm actually not going to use the audio because I don't know why, but my my sound box isn't working right now. The batteries need to be changed and I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. It doesn't need to be perfect, and that is a word for someone. Things don't always have to be perfect. So we're just gonna roll with it and use the audio for that I just have, right here. But today I want to do a whole episode on helping people who are transitioning from graduating college, or maybe you're just someone who doesn't know exactly what you want to do in life. You don't know really what your purpose is. I want to just help you just to understand God's vision and God's voice over you. And I know how hard this can be, and honestly I'm also doing this episode because I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people who are graduating college. They don't know what to do next. I remember myself back then in like 4 years ago, and it was just one of the hardest times of my life, to be completely honest, because I had really no idea what I wanted to do, and I just remember the pressure of that in itself was really hard for me, because I had just felt this like pressure that I want to talk about, and I felt this pressure from social media. I felt pressure from like just people asking me. Like I always encourage people not to constantly ask people like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing now? Like, what's next? It's like, we don't always know what's next. God doesn't tell us what's next all the time. And sometimes you just have to go day by day. And yes, there's a vision for your life, but you don't have to stress so much. And that's what I wish I could tell my past self, is like, you don't have to be so stressed out. You don't need to worry, because God tells us not to worry. And you don't need to feel embarrassed. You don't need to have shame. I don't know, for so long, I just like wish I could hug my younger self. Even though this was only a couple years ago, I really like wished I could have just owned like not knowing what I wanted to do, because that is so normal, and anyone who makes you feel like it's not normal is lying to you and is probably just projecting themselves onto you or something, and you need to distance yourself from that person, because it's very normal not to know exactly what you want to do. And I just want to shed light on, maybe you're the graduate who you're transitioning and you just went to college, you just went to school for 4 years, you had the time of your life. Now you're maybe moving back home with your parents and you're like not excited about that, or maybe you are moving to a faraway place because you have a new job but you're like nervous. I myself am getting married in August and I'm so excited. I live with my parents right now currently, but I'm going to be living with my fiance after we get married, and I'm so excited. But I'm also simultaneously, a little sad, because I've lived this way my whole life almost. I've like always been in the comfort of my own home, and it's just like I'm moving, and there's grace for that. That's so normal. Like, you can have high highs and you can have low lows all at the same time while being so excited, and you don't have to have guilt and you don't have to have shame. And these are just things I really have struggled with. Like, feeling guilty for being sad is stuff that I've always felt bad about, because I feel so blessed and I feel so lucky, and I feel like, how could I be sad when I'm getting married to like the love of my life and these amazing things are happening? But it's normal to be sad. It is normal. We have to embrace those feelings. And so I don't want you to feel any shame. I just really hope that this episode helps just someone, even if it's one person. And I honestly just thought of making it because I was having a lot of conversations about it this weekend with some people, and they were just like talking to me about their daughters and how, some people feel like a pressure to have to keep up with the Joneses, or they feel like FOMO from friends, and then other people are, embracing living at home again and saving money. And I just came up with like some tips that I want to just share with you guys, because I believe firmly through just what God has taught me that these could really help you. And I wish that I had a video like this of someone who is older than me and wiser than me to be able to tell me that you do not have to do what other people are doing just to fit in. and it's okay to go the route you want to go, even if it makes no sense, because in the end, God has a plan, and I hope that you guys can kind of see that unfold through my testimony and my story. So kind of before I get into some of the podcast notes, firstly, I just want to say, like, I graduated college. For me, that was a huge accomplishment because school always came pretty hard to me. It wasn't that I mean, I was always so smart, but I'm sorry, I'm trying to set my timer. Okay. I was always smart, but I just, like, personally always saw through schools. I don't know, that could sound so weird, but, like, I was just, like, I don't know, I don't want to say I wasn't rebellious, because I definitely, like, did my work and stuff, but I, like, would get homework and I'd be like, this is so stupid. Like, that was just truly my opinion, so you could, like, think whatever you want of that, but I would have thoughts of, like, why do we need to spend so much money to go to college? Like, I just think that that's so stupid. Like, I don't understand, like, it's like a business. Like, I don't know where I got that intellect from at such a young age, but like, I didn't stress out about, like, tests and exams and stuff like that. So I wasn't, like, that type of a student. I definitely had a lot of discouragement. Like, honestly, like, once I realized quickly that school and the way that they formatted things was not my thing, I was just like, okay, well, I have to go to this, so I'm not gonna fight it. I have to be here. So, but I'm also not gonna, like, kill myself studying for an exam that I'm not gonna do well on, because my brain does not test this way. So I was always super frustrated with the school systems. I still think there's problems with the school systems. I still think it's broken. I don't think there's not one way to teach someone something. If you're not a good test taker, it doesn't mean you're dumb. You just don't like taking tests. Your brain doesn't work that way. So I think it can set you up to fail, because that's only going to work for the people who are super type A and really good at exams. And it's not going to work for the more creative entrepreneur kids who are maybe looked upon as stupid, but they're actually really smart. They just don't learn that way. So that's my take on, like, school and things like that. So that led me to going to college. I went to Western New England for 4 years, graduated from there with a communications and public relations degree and a minor in public speaking. And to be completely honest, I was like, I don't really know what I want to do with this. Like, I went in for business degree thinking that, I don't know, I mean, I always loved fashion, and I always loved beauty, and I always wanted to blend the two. And I was always good at communicating. I loved people. So I knew for sure that I wasn't going to be doing something in an office, because that's just not my personality type. And I just knew that I, wanted to be around people. I wanted to make an impact. I originally wanted to be a nurse because I love people and I have such a big heart, and I'm such an empathetic person that I wanted to be like a labor and delivery nurse. I wanted to help people in some way, but I literally get so grossed out by, like, blood and stuff. I could never do it. My stomach wouldn't be able to handle it. So I thought, okay, well, communications, marketing, I could definitely do something, help people in that way, help them market their businesses, things like that. So it's just funny though, because, like, I had all of these, like, career ideas, but, like, in the back of my head, I was like, but I really always wanted to just help people. And, like, how can I do that while doing things that I love? How could I impact people? Like, it's so funny because, like, my whole life I would talk to people and I would just, like, I just remember being like, if I could, like, do this, like, if I could, like, motivate people and talk to people and, like, get paid to do that and, like, mentor people and help them, like, that would be the coolest job. And it's so crazy because it's like, I didn't know I was called to ministry until I was, like, I don't know, 19 or 20, but I still didn't know what that looked like. And so that's, like, a whole other topic, but I honestly started just becoming really fascinated with passions that I had. And I was like, you know what, the job will come. I'm not worried about it. I have an amazing personality. Like, I will land a job. It's not that big of a deal. But I also was just like, that is just not enough for me. So I started to make content just for free online. I would just post things that I felt like wanting to. I just wanted to help in a bigger way. And I just, like, literally was like, okay, let me like make a YouTube channel. So I started making a YouTube channel, and obviously I'm still doing it to this day, but that was all way before I knew that I was called to have any type of women's ministry, to help girls, to help women, and talk about God and things in faith that matter. And so I was kind of like doing content creation, but I wasn't getting paid, and I wasn't doing it for a job. Like, I literally was just doing it because it was fun to me and it was a hobby, it was a passion. I've always loved videotaping. If you look back when I was a kid, I would film myself all the time. I just watched some home videos, and so things like that just like really, it was just things that God gifted me with. And so this is gonna also lead into some of the points I make, but it's like, think of things that come natural to you. Think of things that, you know, you're good at, or think of things that God have maybe gifted you that other people don't have. And not that you're ever better than anyone, but what are some things that set you apart that someone else wouldn't necessarily have those attributes? And so I just started using the things that I was good at and creating content, and I gained some followers and some exposure, and I am monetized, so I make money from doing content creation. And so I am just right now in a place where I'm going full in, even though I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how much that can provide me, and it's been definitely so scary at times, because it's like I've had to leave the corporate world. I've had to, you know, lay things down, and definitely been looked upon as so incredibly weird, or people, you know, I know my peers, you know, thought what I've done is like super weird, but yeah, I just think when you don't care and you really grow in that area and you say yes to God, no matter what the outcome looks like, He will do so much more than you could ever expect. And I think it will seriously just like shock you. I know for me, it shocked me. And I look back and I don't even think I realized that I was building a brand, or even realize that I was being called to women's ministry back then, just by literally posting videos and interacting with people and building my own social media platform. Literally just like living and posting things and like actually walking this walk out with God and documenting it. It's just like a little diary. If you go back to like my YouTube videos, like the first one, I literally had bleach blonde hair as white as like this wall. I'm not even kidding. And I just look like a different person. I am a different person. But you can like literally physically see the transformation like within me and within my personality and within the way that I carry myself and my confidence. Like, I think you really like walk through that journey with me. Although I haven't been the most consistent, it's something that I am stepping back into, and I'm so excited to stepping into that content creation. But enough about me. That is just a little bit of how, you know, my story's played out. Obviously, I met my future husband and I'm going to be getting married, and so that is just like super shocking to me as well, that I met someone so young and like my life is blending into someone else's, and that's like the call that God has on my life right now. But let's just talk more about when you graduate college. What is it that exactly you are going to be doing? And I just have some tips for you guys, so I hope that you grab a drink or something, get cozy, and you guys just listen to this and it encourages you. So I know that you are probably not called to women's ministry. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Probably 95% of you aren't. And I want you to know that that's okay. Your life is not going to look like my life. My life is never going to look like your life. I want you to just know there's no judgment. There is nothing you need to be ashamed of. And there are so many different careers in this day and age that you can do. But I think most importantly, it's not about choosing what career you want. It's about praying about what God has for you. And that is like my biggest advice. It's like, you don't just want to like pick a job. Like, sure, you can. But I think it's important that you pray about where God has you and what He wants to do with you. And just be prayerful about that, because prayer is powerful and God will answer. And that's how I've seen my life unfold. Through prayer. Prayer has helped guide me. Prayer has helped change and transform my life. It's, I don't know, to me, when I pray, like, I pray like I am, like, there's no fancy prayer. Like, I truly just go to God. Like, it's like I pray like such small prayers that seem small to him, but to him those are the ones he loves. Honest prayers. Like, God, I don't know what you have for me this season. Like, what kind of a job, like, do you need from me? Like, I need you to open up those doors. And then when you pray that and you let it go and then you get a job offer, it's so much easier for you to decide, like, wow, this was from God, you know? But I do want to just mention that there's a Bible verse, and it says that the Lord has plans to prosper you, to give you a hope in a future, and he has good plans for you. It's Jeremiah 29:11, and God already knows your future. So I think that should give you comfort, because he knows what's to come. And if you walk in a relationship with the Lord, then you know that God has a plan for you. You know that you don't have to worry about the future. He ordained your steps before you were born. He knows the numbers of hairs on your head. You don't have to worry about what your days are to come. He literally knows every single day, down to your last, as maybe freaky as that can sound. He knows it. So if you, like, the number one thing before I give you any tip is you need to have a relationship with Jesus, because when you have a relationship with God, you are abiding with him, and you're walking in purity with him, and you're walking with him, and you're able to hear his voice clearly, and you're able to decipher what is wrong from right. And so I think that is that is like one of the most important things that you could ever do, is have a relationship with God, and then being in community, reading your Bible, and being with the Lord so that he can reveal to you your purpose and continue to reveal to you your purpose, because your purpose can always be changing. And you just first have to know who God is consistently by showing up every day, praying and accepting that he died on the cross for you, for your salvation, and his peace will then enter your life. And always remember that you have to lose your life in order to live. If you're going to follow Jesus and you're going to walk, because you have a purpose in this life. Just a lot of us we don't follow it. Like, we just do whatever we want to do. But there's a God ordained purpose over your life. And if you want to walk in that type of purpose, where you are walking in the highest purpose that you can be, for what you were made here to do, you have to connect with God, because he's the one who knows it. He's the one who created you for it. So that's my number one tip, is just forming a relationship with God. And if you don't know how to do that, I have so many videos and so many things on my social media about how important God is to me. And I have a group chat you can join on my Instagram where we have a community. I like to talk about, just like, I put Bible verses and things in there. And I just think you need to have a relationship with Jesus. It's going to transform your life. If anything, it is the most important. Like, if I said anything on this episode, that is the most important thing you will ever do, because your salvation at the end of the day is in that. And then secondly, what you're doing here on earth all alters and comes from that relationship with him. So that's number one. Number two is just take the pressure off completely. So I want you to just stop comparing on social media, even take a break, because it's so easy to look at someone else's life and compare and think that they're in a better spot than you. And I know for me, I did this so much, and I struggled with comparison so much, and I still have to remember not to compare myself and compare where I am to where someone else is, and someone else's journey to my journey. And I think it's so easy for us to do, because we're living in a day and age where social media is at an all-time high, but it's not healthy. And so if you need to take a break, I have taken numerous breaks from social media, because it can just become so toxic. And I think you need to just be super highly aware of yourself. You need to catch yourself and call yourself out. You need to be focused with yourself and disciplined with yourself. That's a fruit of the Spirit, having self-control. And just know that the enemy is going to make you compare yourself to other people. Like, when I graduated, personally, a lot of the people around me had all these cool jobs, did all these cool things, lived in different cities. And I was just going to be living at home, and I had to finish a class. So I just felt behind. Truly, I felt behind in life. And I was like, you know what? Like, this sucks. Like, I had such an awful perspective on everything, because I wanted to know how everything was going to play out. I didn't trust God. If I'm being honest, I didn't really trust him if I was constantly worrying and constantly striving and sad. And so I just continued. Honestly, I got so sick of living like that I just was like, you know what? I am going to choose to trust God because I know that He has a plan for me. And the Word, renewing my mind and reading the Word every single day and reciting scriptures over myself that I'm still doing to this day, was helping me to just trust that He has a plan, that I don't have to worry. I don't have to know what the next 4 years looks like. I can just focus day to day. I could focus month to month, hour to hour even, and He will provide for me. And so I think I'm going to get more into it, but just take the pressure off. And always remember that social media is literally 90% fake. Please do not compare yourself to people on social media because literally half of it is a facade. These people that post these cars and these things and all of these things, like, they're not even probably living that way. And you don't know someone from social media. And so don't fall into the lie that the matrix of this world has tried to sell you, because it's literally fake. Number 3 is it is normal and okay, and I'd actually say more beneficial, which could be controversial, but to live with your parents than to get an apartment and pay a rent that you don't have the money for or the means for. So this is something I battled with so hard. I have only ever wanted to live on my own. I've only ever wanted an apartment, a beautiful white, crisp apartment in Boston, and I'm not calling anyone out who has that. I'm happy for you because that's anything I always ever wanted. However, when I graduated college, I was broke, had college debt, and needed to save money. So there was really no chance for me to like go to a city and live on my own fully. And I just want to tell you something, like, that is normal. That is usually how it goes when you graduate college. Like, you don't get a ton of money unless your parents are well off and they're paying for your apartment. Your friends' parents are probably paying for their apartment. I hate to break it to you, which is fine, and I'm not saying that that's bad. But don't get down on your parents because they can't provide you an apartment. This is something I wish I was more like. I was so nasty, honestly, to my parents. Like, I was like, why can't you guys provide me an apartment? So entitled, all because of social media. And I thought that this was normal. I thought it was normal that, like, because everybody did it. Everybody lived in these apartments. And I'm like, how are you affording to live? Like, I literally don't understand, like, how do you live? And you know what most of them say? I struggle. Like, they struggle to make ends meet. And this is how majority of, you know, college is. It's hard. You have to, you know, work, but also go to school. Maybe you're playing a sport. I mean, this is like why I don't even recommend everybody always goes to college. It's not for everybody, and it's expensive. And don't let them lie to you and tell you it's not a business, because of course it's a business. So do the smarter thing and live at home, and don't be ashamed of that. Yeah, okay, maybe your friends look cooler. Well, 5 years down the line, they're probably moving back in with their parents, and you're probably saved enough money to go now, or who knows, invested money. Now you have more money to be able to go do something. Like, these are things that I wish, I mean, I did, like, at first I definitely didn't get this, but over time I started to see, like, okay, there's really no hype. Like, you don't have to be living in Boston or New York or a cool city and, like, going everywhere and doing all these things. Like, I get you want the experience, but, like, honestly, I feel like what I did was smarter, and I don't regret it for 1 second. Also, I don't know, my experience at home was teaching me so much. Like, God had his hand on that so much. I think a lot of us could learn from things like that living at home. Meaning, like, I was learning how to cook more around my mom. I was like, my grandparents were obviously still in my life and always over because, like, we all lived near each other. So I just had a lot of family time, which, like, I kind of, like, at the time was embarrassed of or just didn't like, and I wanted to be fully independent. But then God started to convict me and be like, look, you're gonna be a wife one day. Like, you need to learn how to cook. Who better than to learn from your mom and your grandparents? Like, you need to learn how to become a wife. Like, why don't you take this as, like, a study opportunity to become who you want to be? Like, this is the season I have you in for now. This is not your forever. Like, one day you'll have a beautiful home, a beautiful apartment, but it's just not right now, and that's okay. And I think we need to all just have humility and know that, and not expect our parents to pay for something for us that's like outrageous in a city that's near us, just because we need to, like, say that we live in an apartment. Like, I think we need to not follow what everyone else is doing, and we need to make smarter decisions. And if that means you have to stay at home, I think it's a blessing, because first of all, your parents are probably, like, paying for your groceries. I don't know, maybe you have to pay for that, but you can come and go as you please. You have dinner made for you. I mean, I know my parents always were cooking, so I didn't have to cook as much. I didn't have to worry about food. Food is expensive. When you go live on your own, you have to provide for everything by yourself, and you're not making much money. So that is like living in survival. To me, that's more stressful. That's how I looked at it. So I just want to encourage you, if you're in a position where you don't know what to do, you're not embarrassing, or you're not less than, or not cool because you moved back home after college and all your friends are going somewhere else. Like, please take it from me, you are actually cooler, I think, if you're staying home. Number 4 is apply to different types of jobs that maybe you don't think you would ever be interested in. Because you just never know. Maybe your degree lands you a different type of job, a different occupation. Maybe you go to school for business, but you want to try something else, like a preschool teacher, or you want to just work at a deli for the first year and save money while you, I don't know, do a hobby and try to figure out what you want to do. Like, there's no right or wrong answer, and there's no like plan you have to follow. This is why I think it's so important to pray and ask God his plan for your life, because when I first got out of college, I worked at a dentist office and I loved who I worked for. I'm still friends with them to this day. The owner is so nice. He taught me so many lessons about life, but I obviously am not going to become a dentist. I'm not going to become like a hygienist, or, you know, that's not like what I saw myself doing for the rest of my life, but that was just the season that I had to be in. And so I also want to encourage you about the scripture that talks about doing everything unto the Lord. So it's like, wherever you're planted, show God that you are working towards that thing as if you're working for him, as if no one's watching you. Like, use these years for God to help build your character, because God cares so much more about your character than your career. And he cares about your career, but he cares so much more about who you're becoming, and who you're becoming, especially when nobody's watching, and building those attributes of having purity, being a woman of God, learning how to handle situations. Like, think of everything as like a test, and you're going along for the ride, and you're either passing or failing the test. And it's okay to fail, because we all fail, and I failed multiple tests, but just keep going. And so as much as you might not absolutely love the first job you get out of college, that is normal, and that is okay. Obviously, you want your mental health to be okay. You don't want to be absolutely hating what you're doing. Like, I'm not saying stick through something you hate. I realized at a job that I didn't like it, and so I had to pivot and find another job. But you're not always going to love what you first do. Work is work, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people who are, you know, they work in a job that they do their passion, and they do love what they're doing. And I hope that you find that. I hope you take the time, and I believe you're able to do that. I believe you're able to do something that you can absolutely love waking up to and doing. But you know what? Work is work. No matter what you're doing, there's going to be days you don't feel like doing it. You don't feel like getting up. You'd rather be sitting on the beach. But like, that's just not life. And so we have to have hardworking spirits. We need to be driven people, and working hard unto what the Lord asks us to do. And there's so many Bible verses and Proverbs that talk about having wisdom, and just how, like, basically, if you don't work, you don't make the money. Like, if you don't go to the, it's not like literally, but like, if you don't go to the field, like, you literally don't make the money. Like, you have to not be lazy. You have to have a hardworking spirit, and that has to come from within. And that has to be unto anything you do. So if you work at McDonald's after you graduate college, be the best employee at McDonald's. Go above and beyond at McDonald's. Like, become the most happiest, joyful person who spreads light. Find a way where you can shine in the place that you are and go above and beyond for your people. I honestly wish I did that more. But then there were times when I did, and I saw the fruit of that. And even like for me, it was super humbling to have to honestly work at a deli where I met my fiance, but I didn't know that's what I was there for. I thought I was just there to make some extra money. I had to finish a class at school, and so, you know, for me it was just a little confusing. Like, why am I working at just like at this place when I have a degree? Like, I'm about to get a degree. I could be doing anything. I was about to be moving to California. Like, I had all these other dreams and stuff, but God put it to a stop and a pause, because he had so much he needed to build within me and teach me and grow me, and before I'd be ready for the thing that he has for me. And so I want to encourage you, the same thing with you. just have that encouraging spirit. I heard God say to me when I worked at this place, be the light. Like, be the light. Show people who I am. Be kind. Smile. I don't care that you're just working as a register person. I want you to be the best register person that they've ever had, that was there. And so when you take that serious and you take accountability and you love God, you want to work hard unto him because you know how much he's done for you and how much he loves you, and it just makes your life easier as well to not mope and be, you know, sad and mad at work. I mean, there's really nothing worse than that. So just keep that in mind. Number 5 is don't put God in a box. So make the effort and reach out to certain people, or start that business, that entrepreneur business that God has, you know, had you want to create. Like, there are so many things that you could turn into a job nowadays. We are so blessed. Like, our grandparents and ancestors, like, they were in straight survival mode. I mean, I look up to them. I think we are living in one of the most, like, versatile ways you could work. I also see such a shift in jobs and stuff. That's, like, for a whole other episode. But I'm such a traditional person. Like, I truly believe God's hand over my life. I believe that we're seeing a lot of God bringing back the basics, bringing back, you know, traditional women and gender roles, women and men gender roles in the house. And so I believe that full-heartedly. Like, women are meant to nurture, men are meant to provide. You can come at me for that, I don't really care, but that is the mentality I know the Lord has called over my life. And so I wanted a career, and the Lord brought me a husband. And I'm not saying that women can't have careers, please don't misunderstand me. A Proverbs 31 woman literally is a baddie. Like, she's out there flipping houses and doing all these things. It's not that. She has businesses, but she's co-laboring with her husband, and her husband is the head over her. It's God, the husband, then the wife, then the children. And I know for me, I want to raise my babies at home. I do not want someone else raising my kids. And so I see a lot of people wondering what they're doing for jobs, especially women. Like, I don't know, I just see a lot of things through marriage. Everything's out of place. That's what I see. And so that's just for a whole other episode. But basically, don't put God in a box. If there is that job opportunity he's asked you or put on your heart, or maybe you don't, this cut out, so I don't know when it cut out to, but I'm basically just talking about not putting God in a box. And maybe he's asked you to start that business, or I don't know, start that what's it called, like an Etsy shop, or sewing, or I don't know, YouTube channel like I have, or something along those lines. Don't let fear stop you, because you just don't know what could come, you guys. Like, literally, I started making videos in my house, making smoothies and talking about, I don't even know what, literally, like, you know, just showing my life, laughing and being funny, doing Q&As, like, just literally so purely and so harmlessly. And it has turned into something that God wants me to start creating content for, like, a business, and creating, like, I've created a clothing line, and I want to continue to do those things. And I know it's just the beginning, and I have big dreams and I have goals. And so I just don't know who made you stop dreaming, but I think today is again the day that you dream again, and have that faith, have that crazy faith, take that action, and don't give up. Like, I am someone who has not given up. I won't give up. Like, keep going after the things that you know, just because it hasn't started yet, but you know that can prosper in your life. And just, if you're the first one to do it, well, in your family, then be the first one to do it. And even if someone says it's impossible, nothing is impossible with God. So just block out the noise, and, you know, maybe you want to start that book, or you want to do singing as a career. I don't know, something like that. Don't be afraid. And literally, if there's any time to fail, it is in your 20s. So you have time on your side. Don't be afraid. Take the risks now and just start. Like, there's not going to be the right time. So you need to just start it now. Number 6 is don't just spend frivolous money on shopping and the TikTok shop and all these influencers who post these things, because you don't even truly need all these things. It's literally all a lie. This one is such a big one to me. I could make a whole other episode just on this alone. Just like extra stuff validating you. This is something, a hurdle that I've had to overcome in my life. I'm still overcoming this, okay? Look, I'm not here saying or claiming I'm a minimalist or anything like that. But I do think that there's a reason why we shop, and there's a reason why we always think we need more things. And it's it's just not going to equate to more happiness. It's not going to equate to more joy. I think a lot of it is, it's just, again, it's our society. It's what's pushed. I mean, marketing is insane nowadays. You are literally constantly thrown things at you that you don't need. Things you think are going to make you feel better. There's a lot of psychological reasons why we're buying things that we don't need. We see other people have them. We think they're happier. We think they're more peaceful. It's all a lie. You really only need Jesus. And that is the foundation of what you need above any of these things. And so you can actually literally live happy with less stuff. And so that's something I'm still working on. But I know for me, like, I used to buy things because it would like validate my feelings. It was like an emotional high. It was an addiction. Really, truly, like, I had a shopping addiction. I couldn't go into a store without buying something. And it was all because I was looking for external validation to fulfill something inside me that I didn't feel whole enough. And that's a touchy subject because that is not always an easy thing to overcome or to even face. Like, you might not even like be there emotionally yet. But I do want you to just know, like, when you're young, I mean, there was a lot of money I could have saved or put towards something else that I would just spend on clothes and more clothes. It's like, okay, how many clothes do you need and like why? Like, you know, so I still love shopping. I'm not saying like, you know, don't ever shop again or anything like that. But my advice, if you're in your 20s and you just graduated, like, don't like think because other people, like, I don't know, someone else is in a different position in their career that like you should feel ashamed because you can't afford something, or you can't, you know, maybe you can't buy the new Lululemon outfit, or you can't like get the new Hailey Bieber Road skincare. Like, as much as I love her brand, I have her stuff, but there was a time when I couldn't afford it, and there's still times when I'm like, I don't need that. Like, why do I want to get this when I already have a face cream? You know what I'm saying? So just like being smarter with your money at a younger age is going to set you like up in such a better way. I even wish I knew it sooner. So that's my advice to you. Number 7 is do not sell yourself short by making quick money fixes at the cost of your integrity. So I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but this is so important, and especially if you're just graduated, and especially if we're on the topic of money and you're desperate. I know that feeling of desperation. I know what struggle is like. I know what you can do to be out there to be making money as a girl, okay? I'm not stupid. I know. I've gotten multiple DMs about it. I'm just being honest. Like, I've gotten the sugar daddy DMs, whatever, those weird things, offering you money, offering you things that I'm telling you right now, don't ever compromise your integrity for money. It's not worth it. Money, you're not here to serve money, okay? Like, that is a god. That is a god the Lord tells us not to serve. You do not need to be desperate enough. I don't care how desperate you are. The Lord will provide you a way out. These are for my young girls with the OnlyFans, with the things that are coming at them, with the send me a picture of your naked body and I'm going to give you $500. Like, no. And I don't want to shame anyone who's ever done that, but I do want to just tell you, you are so much more worth than that. You are so beautiful. Your body is precious. It is priceless. There's no amount of dollar that can amount to your body, and you do not post or send someone naked pictures of your body because you are worth more than that. And I know that this is a touchy subject, but and I don't want there to be shame around this. Like, maybe you have done that before. I'm not here to like call you out. What I'm trying to say is you're worth more than that. It doesn't matter what, like, okay, for example, I've had so many opportunities to make money that I'll probably share with you guys one day that I have turned down, and I've struggled because of it. Like, I know what it's like to like be in a place of poverty where like you don't have it, you don't know how you're gonna pay that bill, and you have like the temptation, like, okay, well, nobody would know, like I could just like, use my body, or I could go strip, or I could do something, I could make $2,000 a night. I mean, I've literally had people tell me to my face, like, you are so unbelievably beautiful, like, why don't you use it in that way? And it's because I choose to live by God with integrity. My character matters so much more than that, and I am so much more than that. And I know that I will not go without. I know God will provide for me. I do not have to sell my body in order to make money. And even if it's like, I was so convicted, like the Lord told me, like, no matter what it is, it's because I fear him, and like I don't want him to know that I do that, and I live for God. So even though nobody would see me, God would see me. And so that is not the woman that I am. That's not the woman God's called you to be. And so your time will come. I believe that you will make that money in a different, in a God-honoring way. If you really stay obedient to him, you watch how he'll bless you. When you turn down those money opportunities that are trying to sell your character, I'm telling you right now, it's not worth it. And I'm so proud to say I've never sent someone a naked picture of myself or something like that in return for money. I've never sent someone a picture of my body or done OnlyFans or anything like that. And I very easily could. I know I could. And it's such a beautiful feeling knowing like I don't have to do that. And I just feel much more worthy than that. And I would never do that just for money. And so that's something I want girls to know, especially young girls who listen to me. Like, I know that it's tempting. I know when you like want to go get that new makeup, or you want to have that bag, or you want to buy your mom a car, I don't know, whatever it is, it's not worth it to that. And I know your parents wouldn't want you to do that either. But God will provide you such a better way and such a path of success. And it might take longer. That's the catch. But that's okay. Like, it might take longer, but your character matters so much more than that. And it's so much better to have true success that is worked hard by loyalty and just literal true hard work, going the right route, than a quick overnight success that is cheaped out and just selling your body short. I just don't believe in that. So girls, don't be doing that. Then number 8, I think I touched on this a little, but you might not love your first job out of school, but I encourage you to have humility and a humble heart. And yeah, I did talk about this. Just work at 100% like you do the Lord. I think I already touched on this. So number 9, which is the last one, and I'm sure there's so many more, but just the last one that I have here at least, is you do not have to have FOMO. Although I know it can be so hard. Like, we all know what that's like when we see people doing things, our friends, and we feel left out. Kind of like what I was talking about with the, like, people who are living in an apartment with their friends and you're staying at home. Like, I know that can look like you're missing out, but I promise you, you are not missing out on anything. Decide who you want to be and start working on it now. And do not make the mistake of remaining in high school when you are becoming an adult by drinking and going out all the time. This is just not women of God character, and you were made for so much more. So there is a lot of people who graduate college, and to me personally, I always saw that they were just numbing their feelings. They're drinking. They want to continue into this like party state of life. Like, they just don't want it to end. And then they never grow up because they never face reality. They don't face becoming an adult. And that's why you'll see 35-year-old men who are, and women, but who are like literally children, and they have like the mind of a child, but they're grown adults. It's because they still go out all the time. And I'm not saying you can't go out and have fun. I'm not saying that at all. But like, I love to go out and have dinners and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, if you're partying till 4 a.m. and you're like 35 years old, like, okay, like, did you ever grow up? Like, truly. And so you don't want to make the mistake of doing that, because first of all, our time is precious. Life is precious. And we don't have as much time as we think we do. Jesus is coming back. Your life blinks before you know it. Talk to anyone who's older and wiser. They always say that. And they always say, like, that they wish they'd done things differently. And I for sure know you would regret if you just drank your life away or just partied your life away because you never wanted to face anything about the real life. So truthfully, I think it's so important at 20. Like, yes, you're young, and I know people say like, oh, you have to experience and da-da-da. Like, no, you don't. You don't have to experience getting drunk, having a one-night stand, being absolutely broken, and then figuring out what to do from there. Like, that is nothing you need to experience, so don't take that advice. I don't know why people say that. You can have fun in a clean way. Like, I have so much fun in my life. Like, I love going out to dinners. I love getting a glass of wine here and there. I love dressing up. I love my life, but I don't have to sell myself short. I don't have to shake my butt on TikTok for money. I don't have to date a sugar daddy. I don't have to like drink my life away to feel happy. I actually have peace, life, love with Jesus and my future husband who I'm gonna have, like, going the way of God. I think you guys are seeing a pattern with this whole episode, but like, truly just following Jesus is the way. It gives you peace, it gives you joy, it gives you happiness, and it's not boring. And I just want to give you a different perspective of someone who didn't go down that route. Like, I didn't drink my life away. I didn't choose to do drugs and try those things. And there's a balance. I'm not saying to, like, I don't know, people have accused me of like being a nun or like being like boring, and they don't even know me. It's not boring. Like, I don't understand why people think that, but yeah, I'm just here to pose you a different perspective, because I know that there's a lot of girls who follow me and girls who are just like, there's just like that, like, it's like glamorized to drink and like, I don't know, like stay young, like you're young, like try it while you're young. Like, no, like you don't have to do that. Like, I just encourage you not to. You don't have to. You're not missing out on anything. I want you to know that. Like, as someone who like didn't do all that throughout college and stuff, like there were definitely times I did feel much more lonely and like much more, I don't want to say boring, but like, you know, there wasn't that like high in my life. Like, I wasn't, I don't know, sneaking out of a guy's room or like doing those things. But personally, I feel like that helped me as I've gotten older. So, and trust me, I've had my fair share of doing things like that, you know, much younger, which is sad, but like, I would never want to live like that ever again. So I just want to encourage you, maybe you needed a different perspective, so you're not missing out. So I hope that this encouraged you. I hope that these were some tips and just some things you needed to hear. Don't worry about anything. God has your future in his hands. I know it's so much easier said than done, but it's really true. And he has a plan for your life, and I would love to just pray for you. If you just graduated college and you don't really know what you want to do, or maybe you know, got a degree in something but you just don't really like it, just don't panic. It's okay. Like, half of life is really truly like going with the flow, and God brings people on your path. Like, sometimes you don't, it sounds so crazy, but like sometimes you don't even have to have a degree. Like, you will literally meet a person and God will put that person in your life and they will hire you because they like your personality. So it's like, don't stress out about what society tries to yell at you and tell you you need to do this, need to do that. Like, no, you don't. You don't. You really don't. And so I just want to pray for you. And so hopefully this brings you a little bit more peace and ease. So, dear Heavenly Father, Lord God, I just pray for the person on the other side of this screen right now. Lord, you know what they're going through. You know the pain and you know the struggles that they've gone through, God. I just pray that you would give them direction, you'd give them clarity, you would give them peace right now, that your Holy Spirit would just come over them, God. That they would first know that you love them. You have a plan, a beautiful, a good plan, God. Your word does not lie. And you say you have a plan for us, God. A plan to prosper us, to give us a hope and a future, God. So I pray that that would just be stitched on their heart today, God, that they cannot mess up, that they're not too far gone, they haven't messed up enough, God, that you can redeem everything. You can Romans 8:28 their life like you have mine, God. You can give them a purpose because you know them better than they know them. And whatever you have for them, God, that they'd have the courage to be able to go through the things that you have for them, God, that there would be mentors and people in their lives that can help them through the things they're going through, God. I pray you give them clarity and direction in their next steps, God, of what they're doing, God, and that they would just be able to just trust you. I pray that doors would open for them and blessings would come upon them, Lord. I pray that you would just give them peace. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. I hope that this encouraged you, and I just pray that you guys are so blessed by this episode. Remember that Jesus loves you, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day.